Welcome to Beyond Bridge, the podcast where courage meets community. We shine a light on the stories, science, and support that define the breast cancer journey. From survivors and thrivers to doctors and advocates, we're here to share real conversations, expert insights, and the hope that carries us forward. Whether you're newly diagnosed, a lifelong fighter, or walking alongside someone you love, this is your space, your voice, and your story. Welcome to Beyond Bridge. I'm with Stacy Barron today, and she's going to share her journey with breast cancer. She was diagnosed with invasive ductal carcinoma stage 2. Stacy, welcome to Beyond Bridge.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Good. So let's start by you sharing with our audience today your personal journey with breast cancer. You said you had invasive ductal carcinoma.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes. So my journey started with a normal routine mammogram. I was pretty diligent about getting my mammograms every summer. I've always worked in education, so summers off, lined up the appointments. The year COVID struck, all the appointments were pushed back. So where I normally had my June appointment became a December appointment right before Christmas. Did the pre-registration, getting ready for the appointment. And I share this because this is where my support begins. The young lady I spoke with told me that there would be like an $1,800 balance to pay when I got there. And I said, oh, I don't want to do that before Christmas. Mm-hmm. I'll schedule it for right after. And this young woman, I wish I knew her name, she said, Miss Barron, I don't really want you to wait. Give me a minute. She did some stuff. She asked me a few questions. She's like, please keep your appointment on December 23rd, and you won't have anything to pay out of pocket.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. And I did. And in that appointment, I sat and, you know, when they do the tests and they go, oh, give us a minute to review. She came back in with the radiologist. And this wonderful woman took me by the hands and looked in my eyes. And she goes, I saw something concerning. I'd like you to come back. And I was like, okay, are you talking about, January? She's like, no, I'd like you to come back on Thursday. This was on a Monday. And I was like, oh, okay. I go back on Thursday. And I was like, this is getting really close to Christmas now. Went back. They did the biopsy. Because of the Christmas holiday, we had to wait an extra day. And that Tuesday morning, I got the phone call that my journey would begin, that I had stage 2, grade 3, invasive ductal carcinoma.
I'm sure that was a lot to take in right before Christmas.
It was. Thank God my children were home because it was the holiday. I had already given them a heads up. I'm blessed to have 2 in healthcare. So they're really attentive with navigating my journey. And my oldest said, when are you getting the results? And I said, they said Tuesday morning. And she moved her flight. She was going to come for New Year's. She's like, I want to be there when the results came in. And she was flying in that evening. Now, anyone knows that you get an 8 o'clock phone call is not normally good news from your physician's office. So 8 o'clock.
Okay. So you got this diagnosis before Christmas.
Yes.
Your daughter is flying in. Your family is with you. So after the diagnosis, what was your treatment and how did that go for you? Tell us about that.
So my treatment, excuse me, they wanted to ask me about chemo and radiation and ultimately surgery, that they wanted me to start thinking about the type of surgery I would have, either a myomectomy or lumpectomy, but they said, let's see how the treatment goes and then you can make that decision.
Okay, so you had a range of options in terms of your post-treatment.
Yes, initially, it seemed like it was going to be options. Okay. And I say it seems like because once everything began, it changed. Okay. I had 16 weeks of chemo, 34 rounds of radiation, and did end up with lumpectomy. I did not do the mastectomy. Was my choice because they felt like I responded very well to all the treatments that had been done. So I ultimately decided to do the lumpectomy instead of removing everything, what I initially wanted to do. I was like, take it all. I've had my babies. I don't need these anymore.
Okay.
But I'm glad I did.
I'm glad you did.
Yes.
All right. So you've got the diagnosis. You've gone through treatment. Who was there to support you? What was your support system like? I know you said that was important for you.
Yes.
So share that journey. What was that like for you?
Yes. So I'll go back to when I initially found out the diagnosis. The first thought in my head was, I don't want to go through this alone. I'm a divorced mom. I have adult children in school and residency at the time. All I kept thinking was, I don't want to do this alone. I have elderly parents who'd already lost a child, so I was very careful of how I shared information with them. But God had another plan. I have what I ultimately named my dream team, which are my closest friends that we even check in every morning to just say hello. And if someone doesn't check in by a certain time, there's a follow-up. We're like, girl, you okay? My dream team went into action. They provided a calendar for appointments. Another one took over the meals. She had a meal train. I was single yet dating, and the gentleman I was dating, I just had the conversation of, you're a great guy, but I want to go one direction. You're fine with this. And I was giving him an out. And he said, the nerve of you to tell me how I'm going to handle your situation. He's like, you don't get to give me an out. He goes, I don't care what, our plans are. If you're going through this, we're going through this. And that man literally never left my side. He was part of the dream team.
So he's part of your dream team, but he is showing you love. He's just not saying that I love you. He's showing that.
He was showing it. So what I thought I was removing because it was something I wasn't getting, again, God was like, I'm going to show you who's in control. And you don't actually get to make all these decisions. So, and to this day, he's one of my best, and dearest friends. Part of the dream team. Someone was at an appointment. I had 3 days down after chemo. It was like a well-oiled machine.
So you had, how many people?
Five people.
You had
on
five
this team.
people.
Yes.
Okay. And so share with us again what these 5 people did for you.
So these 5 people, one is my childhood best friend who's actually in Jersey, but I tell her she can rule the world from wherever she is. So it was 5 people, my 4 sister friends, and this gentleman was part of the team. My best friend was part of in Jersey, navigating the family schedule of who was coming when, to make sure I was never overwhelmed with people.
So in Jersey means that she was long distance.
She was long distance.
Okay.
But she was here for the first appointment. She was here in the middle, and she was here for the last chemo. The dream team, the local dream team, came to every appointment. They had turns. I didn't even know. They would tell me the night before, all right, it's Big Sis Carolyn's day, or it's Little Sis Tasha, or this is Tommy's week, and she'll be there to pick you up at 8 o'clock.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And
then I had 3 days down after chemo. It was like the surge of energy right after. So I had chemo on Wednesday mornings. I would come home. I would get as much done as possible because I knew by Thursday the crash was going to hit, is what I called it. And then I'm down. You can't lift your head off the pillow, just all this stuff. So I would tell them, I don't need anyone here Wednesday night. But yes, you can start on Thursday. And they had a rotation where someone was there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I ultimately asked for Sundays for myself. I was like, I just need one pity ugly day. I'm not going to stay there. And they were like, all right, but if you don't answer that phone, or if it ever takes you too long, they all had keys. I had to give the local friends keys so that if they called and checked and I took too long, they were coming.
They were coming in.
They were coming in.
And what about your children? You say you have adult children.
Yes.
What was their reaction?
My children was my
diagnosis?
why.
Okay.
And I'm a fighter, but there are days where, and I share this with you all candidly, I'm a fighter. There were days where I said to God, if this is it, it would be okay. I felt like I had lived my life. I'd done all I could. But then I was like, but it's my children. I was like, I don't want my son's story to be, oh, my mom wasn't there for my graduation because cancer,
Took her home.
That became my why. And one was in doing a fellowship at the time. She had just graduated from grad school, and the fellowship was remote because of COVID. So as much as we have all the bad COVID stories, I have some lights that came out of it. The oldest was in residency, so I was constantly like, please stay on your journey. We've got this here. And the youngest wanted to take a semester off. And I was like, no, sir, not an option. You're going to help me heal by staying there in school. So thank God my middle child was able to come home for 2.5 months. I had not lived with a child at home other than my son back and forth. And she's like, no, Mom, we got you. From the initial diagnosis, it was like, what are we going to do? We got this. Let's get our ugly cry out, and then it's time to fight. And we call her the boss of the family anyway. So she came. So then the dream team is now navigating through Kyla. Anything, does Mom need dinner today? She said, no. We told, please move that dinner meal to this day. We're good. We have enough food in the house. It was amazing. It was amazing. She started this sock journey with me that every chemo, I had socks with messages on them that said, if you can read this, I'm kicking cancer's butt, or one down, one more to go. That it became part of the journey going to chemo, that people wanted to see my socks.
Wow.
So,
that sounds great.
Yes.
So you've got this incredible support system. Now let me ask you this question, and this, how did your faith play a role in your journey?
I often say, and I am a woman of faith, I don't know how anyone who doesn't have faith could survive a blow like this. It was nothing but God that would get me out of the bed the days I didn't want to get in bed. And as much as I smiled and I danced in chemo and knew where my help was coming from, I thank God for my oncology team, but it was God. I had my playlists. I had my songs I need to hear. William Murphy has a song called It's Already Getting Better. Mm-hmm. I listened to that on my way to chemo each Wednesday. It was my thing. And then I did question God. Like, why me? I'm a good person. I volunteer. I take care of others. Why? And then I heard that, why not you?
Why not
I gave you this battle because I know when you overcome it, you're going to be there for someone else. And that's how I've navigated this whole process, being there now for other women that have to deal with this.
So you have survived.
Yes, I have.
And you are thriving.
Yes.
So what's next?
The what's next is being there for people who are getting ready to take on this journey. Being there for women who get that diagnosis and don't know what to do with it. I try to give them hope. I tell them I am a living, breathing testimony that you can get on the other side of it. And it's okay to have a temporary pity party, but don't stay there, because our mental state is equally as important as the physical we go through in treatment.
So let me ask you this. That's a good segue to ask about your mental capacity during this time. You mentioned pity party. I know all about the pity parties. Mm-hmm. So how did you navigate mentally what was going through you physically?
I journaled.
You journaled?
I journaled.
So what was that like?
It was a space to write it down, whatever it was, good, bad, or ugly. I wrote down exactly what I was feeling that I may not have wanted to voice to someone. So on the worst days, I would write it down. I'm mad. Why am I having to deal with this? And then the next day it was like, God, I'm sorry. Thank you. But I was able to put that in words. And it was my private words. I learned in therapy years ago, write a letter to someone that you never planned to mail. And that was my journal. It was my letter to myself and to God of how I'm going to get through this.
If there was one thing that you could share with the audience and with women who are struggling, who are going through, who are surviving, who are battling cancer, what would that be? What would you say?
Dig deep. We have a strength inside of us as women that we don't even realize is there. I often say, I didn't know my own strength. I did not know I was as strong as I was to navigate that process and still be able to smile. I thought I'd never smile again. I thought my smile was gone, and I smiled the whole time. So just, it's in you. It's in you. Don't give up. Keep fighting. There are so many people that need and want you here.
Well, that smile is coming through. I see it as I'm sitting across the table from you. It is definitely there. Thank you so much, Stacy, for sharing your story with us. Really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Beyond Bridge, a place of strength, support, and shared stories. If the conversation touched your heart, be sure to share it with someone walking this journey. And always remember, you are not alone. God walks with you, even in the valleys. Lean on His promises, trust His timing, and never lose hope. Until next time, may you be covered in grace, filled with courage, and surrounded by love. I am Jacqueline Anthony. For all of us at Bridge, thanks for joining the conversation.